Hello everyone and welcome to another traditional draft of Wilds of Eldraine. And the first pick has decent options. There's the rare, which is quite good, I would say. 2 mana to haster if nothing else is on the battlefield or you don't need to dig into certain cards or something like that. But you can ramp with it with a treasure also. And you can give it a wicked roll token to someone else. It's a very flexible card and it's a 2-drop and it's a high quality 2-drop, so that's definitely a very valuable one. But if I'm going to take a red card from this pack, should it still be the Thoughts the Tower? Now there's also very good, in my opinion, monstrous rates here, which wouldn't be picked over the Thoughts Tower. So this is basically just a very nice pack to open in sealed, because there are actually 5 very, three very good red cards and 2 playable red cards. It's gonna be one of the reds. There's a Dream Thief, the Shatter the Oath. Now, well, the Dream Thief is better than the Shatter the Oath this early. I'm actually taking the rare here because I have played less with it than the Thoughts the Tower, of course, which is a very high quality common. I have had many of those in my deck, so the Thoughts the Tower could be the even safer pick because it's also splashable. You're happy to splash it if you have some means to splash it and maybe have some other red to splash too. But whereas this thing, if you are not main color red, you are not gonna play it. But it's maybe more fun to play with rares too. Alright, this is a very good land. Of course, all of the lands are good. The creature lands in this format, there are 5 of them, but it's not gonna match well with my first pick. So the question is, am I going to take a cut in or something that's... Well, I'm not even sure if the Threadbind click is that much better. I think it's a rather easy cut in now that I took the red card first. I quite like the cut in because you can, because it's not only deal 4 damage to a creature, but the Young Hero roll token does things to grows your guys and gives something to sacrifice for a bargain. Now, I'm not taking the red card in here. There's a Tangle Span lookout, but you have to commit to the auras a little bit with this thing. Every color has access to roll tokens, of course, so it's not a big commitment. But there's also Questing Druid, which is part red, and 2 mana 1/1 that is even in a 2-color deck. Of course, this won't grow from casting green spells, but even in just a 2-color deck, this can pick up a few counters. So I think I'll take that. It's a lot weaker pack than the... Well, I don't know if the previous pack was very strong, but definitely this is a lot weaker pack than the first one I saw. But I'm happy to take the Questing Druid. Also fun to play with a rare. Not a bomb rare by any means. Do I have a playset of sneak attacks? I don't. I'm at the stage in this format that I'm not going to have a ton of drafts anymore, and I want to try to complete as many of the mythic rares from the enchantment sheet as possible. All the other card rarities I'm not going to worry about. I will get them by opening packs, but the enchantment sheet mythic rares are the exception. So since this pack is not very strong, actually there's a monstrosity, you could take it, maybe try to get red black going on, flick a coin is fine, Shatter the Oath. Yeah, it's a pretty mediocre pack from which the sneak attack is a fine pick. This is not really a card I'm planning to play. Who knows, maybe in some very crazy circumstance I'm gonna play it or sideboard it in, but it's extremely unlikely. I took it just to have a mythic rare from the enchantment sheet. Okay, green isn't open, so I think the Questing Druid will be not played. You could play the Seek the Beast, by the way, just as a one of red card, and maybe you have some splashing, free splashing for the green. So it's not a completely unplayable card in the red deck, but it's of course quite weak. So here I can take some cheap white. Maybe I could go red-white here. There's also the Edgewall pack, which would be a safe pick. But if I'm red-white, I actually do care about the cheeky house mouse. You want to have 1-drops in that color combination. And red and white are open, at least based on this pack. So hopefully that wasn't just an anomaly. Red-white is of course one of the strongest archetypes in this format. And it's very aggressive, and it's one of the formats where you are happy to play a 1 mana 2/1. And also happy to play a 2 mana 3/1. There's also Witch's Mark, Kellan's Light Blades, and the Dutiful Griffin, which are all cards you could play. But I'm not going to prioritize 5 drops in red-white, which is, basically you maybe want to not play any 5 drops at all unless they are like true bums. So let's make sure we have early drops if it's gonna end up in a red-white deck. So let's take the mice. I'm gonna cut the questing druid for now. It's quite likely I won't be drafting green. This pack isn't very good. I don't like these in aggressive decks because you don't usually care about the opponent attacking, and then if you use this on a blocker, unless your creature has trample, it's wasted damage. But I think it's still better than the Clothier. Like I said, I'm not interested in 5 drops too much. And in aggressive mirrors, of course, this is good. You can, race and still kill their attackers to stay ahead in the race. Alright, here Celebrant has some synergy potential with some of the cards, but I think I'll just take the mana fixing here. It's actually slightly worse in decks where you want to play 1 drops, because the best turn to play this Evolving Bulge is usually on turn 1. Of course, you have to have it in your hand, but still. But I think I'm gonna still take the fixing, and it enables some kind of splashes. And I'm not really even locked into red-white. I have actually only 2 red cards, not counting the questing druid, and of course not counting the sneak attack. And the white cards here are just random playables, nothing that is actually strong that makes me want to keep on drafting white. If I open some great rare from some other color in pack 2, I'm easily going to be able to pick that and change my color still. And here we have still more red. So the Grand Ball Quest or the Edgewell pack. I like the pack in red-white and also in black-red because of the rat token, but in red-white because it does trigger celebration. You will have a few cards with celebration in red-white decks. 2 2-drops for now, 1 1-drop, so I don't need a 2-drop. But then again, 4-drops are... Actually, I'm gonna take the 2-drop because you don't want to have too many 4-drops in your decks, and it's not that hard to find them. Here, I'll just take a trick. This is something you could sideboard in. I don't really like the Kindled Heroism that much, even in the aggressive decks. So I'm gonna take these. I haven't ever sideboarded it in, but this could have some kind of utility. In some cases. Break the spell. Who knows? Maybe I'll find the Princess Takes Flight, or what's the uncommon saga. You want to maybe play a break the spell in that case. And I don't think I want to have 2 of them, so I'll take a Spider Food. If I end up green after all, it's a good sideboard card when you are playing green. Okay, this is just not a good card. I'll take the uncommon. It's quite unlikely I would end up playing this even if I move to blue. Okay, Cuddlesmith. And here we have, yeah, Moonshaker Cavalry. Too expensive. It's a mythic rare, but not from the, the enchantment sheet. I have enough regular mythic rares in this set now, from this set to actually complete them, all of them at 4 copies once I have opened my packs. So I'm not taking it because the 8 mana card, I mean, you would need to have some ramp, so maybe, a lot of treasure token making, or just play white-green in which you could consider running that card. So it's not what I'm actually interested in here. That said, there's not a lot in here. There's like a Feed the Cauldron, which would be my first black card. There are some, 2 mana creatures I could play. There's a Witch's Mark. Yeah, it's a fairly weak pack. I mean, it's actually a very weak pack. I'm gonna take just the quite a unexciting card here. I'll take the Guard. 2-drop with some late game utility, why not? Alright, here there's a Totem Tons. Now, had I known if it's gonna come here, I would have taken the Feed the Cauldron, because I can ignore white easily based on my white cards, which are just random playables, nothing that pulls me that direction. So the best card in the pack is Totem Tons or the Tanglespan Lookout, if you have some synergy for it already. I don't have too much of that, so I don't think I care about that. Yeah, you could take just an Edgewell pack and stay open to red-white, but I think I'm taking the Totem Tons in here now. That's an actually powerful card. Alright, well, Picnic Ruiner. That's interesting because it is quite nice in a red-green deck, which I could still be. Questing Druid is still here. 2 mana 2/2 that can pick up double strike, especially if you are red-green, because you will have the easiest time to have 4 power creatures. But of course, the important thing is that in red-green you can also use the Stolen Goodies adventure, distributing 3 +1/+1 counters in any way among creatures is quite nice. I'll take it. I could take a black card because I took the Totem Touch, but I keep the dream alive about playing red-green now. Okay, well, there are still decent, black cards here, so I could stick to the Totem Taunt. And maybe if my first pick was to feed the Cauldron from this pack, i.e. if I would have two good black cards, that would be a stronger reason to remain black. But now that I took the couple of cards that are basically green, and quite decent ones, I'm gonna stick to green now, take the Fawn, which is also, quite high quality card. So, and now I see a Glass Casket and a Gallant Pie Wielder, which I would want to play in the red and white deck. Okay. So in red-green there are a couple of 2-drops and there's a Kindled Heroism. The problem with white is that there's not just a lot of power in there. There's a good mana curve, but I think with the 2-drops I have for red, I can my mana curve for red-green will be decent also. Let's just take the Oof maybe. Okay, let's ignore the white. I just hope I'm not getting anything amazing white here. I don't. And that said, I do get a pretty good black card in Stab Wound. You could consider splashing. I think I'll just take the Edgewall pack now this time. I don't need any more 2-drops, especially a rather weak one like the Oof in here, so fine. Let's maybe try the red-green here, hoping I'm gonna have it be somewhat open in pack 3. I mean green, I don't think red's gonna be a problem. It's been fairly open in both directions. Okay, I wouldn't mind the Verdant Outrider, it's actually decent with the Picnic Ruiner, of course, triggering the double strike, but so does the Daredevil, and this has a better secondary mode option. I mean, this has the Adventure and this has the Activate ability. I much prefer the Adventure here. And there's white stuff, but not that interesting. I'll take the Slinger. I don't think I'm gonna main deck it, but it's a good sideboard card against some, fairies, for instance. And here I'll take the Witch's Mark over the Scarecrow Guide or the Porridge thing. I don't have a lot of removal, so you could take this to sideboard against decks with, a lot of low toughness creatures to kill them. But it's very expensive. 4 mana to kill something that has 2 toughness is not the greatest deal, even though it leaves you with something you can use in some way. But it's not really high priority. Witch's Spark is actually quite nice. Quite nice of a card. The Wicked Roll token makes this definitely better than the regular discard card to draw 2. Although there's a risk that if you target a creature and the opponent kills it in response, or bounces or whatever, you won't even get to resolve the spell at all. Now, Tracker here isn't interesting. I don't think I care about the Return from the Wilds either, but who knows, maybe I will find some splash and this will help me do that. Okay, Knowing Crescendo, not for this deck. I don't think there's any... I guess even in red-white, I'm not sure I like to play it. I just take the uncommon. I'm not playing any of those. Yeah, I have only a few green cards, but I like the green I have here. I'll take the uncommon. It's too late to move to blue here, even though I have, a few blue cards, but hopefully the red-green deck works. I'm gonna cut now the white. Yes, there are white. I'm not gonna take the trick now. I might actually end up having only a few playables, or I might need to put some random playables to get enough cards. Questing Druid should be, of course, in the deck. Now, what was I saying? Yeah, there's a decent mana curve for the white-red deck, but just no power from white, so there's not really a reason to be white. Oh, there's Lord Skitter. So the red-black would have been quite interesting. Totem Taunt and Lord Skitter. But there's also the Witch's Vanity, which is nice. Wow. Well, there's definitely options for me here. There's another cut in. How many creatures? This is 9 and 4 non-creatures. Yeah, I think I kind of went to this red-green. Having the questing druid and the picnic ruiner makes me want to play red-green. I'm gonna take the cut in and hope the ruby comes back. That's what I'm hoping. It's not impossible for it to come back. Royal treatment. And stuff. Okay, I'll take the treatment. I always like to play those. Very, very good way to win some tempo when the opponent uses their, 3+ mana removal spells, and you can counter it with only 1 mana, and of course get the roll token too. And sometimes you can just win a combat. Let's say your 3/3 attacks into their 3/3, and they are like tapped out, so you can without risk just make your own creature into a 4/4, and therefore eat their 3/3 for 1 mana and enhance your own creature. But the main use for this is of course to counter the opponent's removal. Okay, now I'm a little bit happier about having green in the deck, because the Bramble Familiar is quite good. Mana accelerating early, and if the game goes late, the fetch quest is definitely a decent one. Although I might not have anything too amazing to fetch, but you still get another card. Creature, enchantment, or land to the battlefield. And then of course you can still cast it 2/2 from exile. There's also Kolos Sellsword, so if I was red-black, I think there would be still a decent pick for that combination, but I'm happy to have the Bramble Familiar here, and then I wouldn't mind having some stronger cards. I mean, by stronger I actually mean more expensive. I am green after all, so I could now have some of the more expensive green cards. There are some commons too. But here I'll take the Daredevil. Think I can still have it. Not amazing by any means, but I could actually use the 3-drop here. I hope to not play the Return from the Wilds. Also not necessarily gonna play the Skewer Slinger in the main deck, but let's see once I have enough spells to fill the deck, and then I start considering the cuts. But here is, it's really actually troublesome here that there's nothing expensive here. I mean the phone is good, but I have pretty much nothing to accelerate into. So I don't know how it's gonna go, but there's not really much of an option here. It's not like I'm interested in splashing any of this stuff, so let's take the phone here still and hope to get like a few expensive cards, which isn't usually a problem to find expensive commons, But now it seems to be. Alright. Tempest Heart. Won't be even picking up any counters in this deck, so I'm taking the Ferocious Werefox, which is actually a kind of an expensive card I was looking for. I can use the 3, or I can just play this on turn 3 using one of, I have 3 accelerating 2 mana accelerants here, so I can even have the option to maybe play it on turn 3. Usually you want to maybe get some value from the token, but not always. Okay, so as you can see, red and green are open, but I don't get the expensive stuff. I think now I'm gonna take the Collector's Vault in here. I know the Firebolt is removal, and I have maybe a few ways to enhance it, but I'm taking the Vault. It seems like that's the card I'm gonna need the most to maybe try to dig into my few spells. Okay, now this actually is something I'm gonna take here, the Corvold and the Noble Thief. I actively want to play this. This is something that gives me use for my better use for my mana accelerants, because there are of course additional mana sources in the deck. So this allows me to at least get some extra cards. The Verdant Outrider isn't really that high priority. Okay, next one is pick 9. So this could have the red-green uncommon 2-drop. It doesn't though. Wow, red and green are non-existent here. I'll take the 20 gems here. 22 out of 40, I might have the main deck Spider Food, because note this is also featuring Evolving Wilds, so I wasn't supposed to do that, but here this is only 21 spells and I'm not playing 19 lands, so currently I'm playing something like a Spider Food. Crown Seal. Alright, Brave the Wilds. No, I don't have actually a lot of things to bargain, and I don't want to fetch any lands. Ooh, this is actually just, something I can play as a cantripping 2-drop, as sad as it is. Okay, the Witch Stalker. I don't even want to play that card. Okay, I don't like what I'm seeing here. And I might have to play something like a Return from the Wilds as well. Okay, I don't have the big impact cards here. I can't accelerate into anything great. I'm actually playing the Admirer here, because it at least allows me to use my mana for something. I don't need another Evolving Wilds. Wow. Okay, this draft was... I don't know what was I supposed to do. I could have had a good black and red deck. That was the other option here. But even then, did I see anything like amazing black in pack 3? I didn't see like a Candy Crabble. I did of course see the rare, the Lord Skitter, but that was pretty much it. Yeah, this is 24 in here, but this includes, stuff like Skewer Slinger, which I really don't need. This is a defensive card. I have enough 2-drops in here. I don't really need it. I don't need a Territorial Witch Stalker either. Okay, and there's actually nothing really worth splashing here. I'm playing like a Kellan's Light Blades. There's nothing else from white. From white, that I want to splash. I think the Spider Food might even be better than some of the other options in here. Like, how about the Return from the Wilds? Do I need it? What I really don't like here is the Skewer Slinger, the Crown Seal, of course, the Witch Stalker, the Return from the Wilds. The rest of this stuff, I believe, they are cards I don't mind running. Even the Kindled Heroism is actually, a totally playable card. Usually you just have more playables than 23 or 24, so it's easy to cut the Kindled Heroism. But not in this deck. It's gonna be actually better than these 4 cards in a vacuum. Of course, when you know about your opponent's deck, it's easily possible that Skewer Slinger or the Witch Stalker can be good. Even the Ground Seal has actually some utility, because they are black cards that target cards in graveyards. I mean, it could be some other too, but at least they are black ways to get creatures back from graveyard. So this is actually a funny little sideboard card in that case. And it's a 2-mana cantrip, so I mean, it's a waste of tempo, but I'd rather play that than an extra land that I won't be needing. Because I'm not playing... I actually want to play just 16 lands even, but I think a main deck Spider Food is gonna be the case. It's not that impossible that you get at least... Well, I mean, if you destroy a roll token, it's gonna be miserable, but sometimes that's the best thing you can have. But of course you can face decks that have flying creatures. White and blue have, of course, flyers, and black too can have flyers. So it's not... I mean, I would say that a decent amount of the archetypes in the format utilize flyers, at least of some kind. So I'm gonna play these rather than some other stuff in here, like the Witch Stalker. I really don't like to see here. Problem is that I don't have a lot of ways to have creatures that have 4 or more power. Now I have some ways, but even giving this guy a roll token isn't gonna be enough. It's going to only be a 3/3. Guess you can do something like use the Daredevil, enhance the Witch Stalker, because this can, have 4 power by itself. It doesn't have to be another creature with 4 power. I guess with double Daredevils it could be something I can play. Okay, I can play it. These are 4 power creatures, these are 4 power creatures. I have some creatures that I can make into 4 power creatures, like give a roll token to this. And I guess with the cut-ins, Young Hero roll token, some other things can also become 4/4s, and of course there is the Picnic Ruiner. Yeah, okay, I'll play the Witch Stalker So that's there. Then these three, I think I will cut one of them. This basically gives me a 1/1 and probably a land I don't need. And I don't need the food either. I don't have food synergies, and I don't have, you know, a bargain really in this deck to utilize from the sacrificable token. So I think I'm gonna play the cantrip 2-drop rather than the return from the wilds. So Ground Seal goes there, and Skewerslinger is, you know, going there as well. And this is one of the rare cases when I don't have enough, you know, good playables. This deck, this was a Trainwork draft. I pivoted to red-green somewhere in pack 2, but I don't think the red-white deck would have been that strong, and the red-black would have been the best option, but even that was somewhat difficult to move into, I think. So this is what I'm gonna play with, and let's hope to get some wins here. Alright, so 8-7 basic lands, I guess pretty even amount of red and green cards, but then again 2 of my cards that can also fix mana are green, so I should maybe have, you know, 8 forests and 7 mountains like this. Yeah, okay, definitely a weak draft and weak deck, but I mean, what are my options to forfeit the event, which I never do. Of course, I always want to play the events, and yeah, the only other option is to play the matches, which are gonna be played next. Okay. Yeah, even something like Candy Trail would have been good in here, which is something you often see go quite late. It's not really a high priority card, but I even didn't see them because that is the kind of perfect card number 23 and 24 index, because it's there's Gride 2 and then draw a card is quite decent. Okay, I'm happy to get the Picnic Ruiner in here. I'll start with the Fawn because it's not actually a problem even if they counter it, and if they don't counter it, then I will. I mean, then of course I could have had 4 mana on the next turn. For I guess would have played like something like a Witch Stalker. Alright, so here I don't have a 3-drop, so I can only have like a not so optimal turn 3, but I will play this, and there's a chance I'm gonna just play the Werefox as a 4-power creature to allow this thing to attack. They main phase that thing, oh, because they want to have a lifelink, that does make sense. But I think now that they only have a 2-2 here, I'm going to play this Scoundrel here. And it's gonna be a 2-2. Here, and I'll just play the Ground Seal, I guess. Just to get the card draw from this thing. Okay, the Alf could... I can eat the Ground Seal, of course, to deal with the Candy Trail. That will deny the card from them, that's not the worst. Okay, well, I'm going to discard the Forest for sure. I don't need 5 mana on the next turn. I have only even mana costs in here, so there's no use. Of course I can draw an odd costed card, but based on what I have now available, the 5th land doesn't do anything. So they are gonna tap out, so that means I could get rid of the Candy Trail now. So I guess I can... They are tapped out, so I'm actually more interested in just distributing the counters here. I can make this into a 3-3, this into a 4-5, and then this is permanently going to be able to attack, so let's do that. It's 8 damage. I haven't seen anything red from there yet. Also, by the way, cards in graveyards means also, you know, any card, not just creatures. Oh, please don't kill it. Ah, stopgap bounce here. That was annoying. Because I'm also taking now, of course, a lot of damage here. I'm losing the race now that they get to bounce the Witch Stalker. But yeah, this of course works also on some of the blue cards that return instant and sorceries from graveyard. So the crown seal is some nice. You know, does something here regardless. Alright, well the Scuba Slinger is a good card in this deck. Of course I'm in trouble here because I'm at 7 here only. Well, definitely I'm playing the Scuba Slinger and they have only one ground guy, so I'm gonna try to keep up the race situation here. Now there's a lot of options. I'm actually tempted to just get rid of the Candy Trail. I assume that they're probably not, you know, this probably doesn't, you know, bully them at all currently. So I know I could leave mana up for the Ferocious Fairfox too, but I think I need to get some stuff on the battlefield here. So these can block. This is no target creature card. Oh, I'm actually currently, you know, this can't use this X ability. It's not like there's anything to copy currently, but the Crown Seal is in fact, I thought this doesn't target, but it does in fact target. You don't just choose. Okay, well, maybe I don't want to get rid of the Candy Trail then. I don't want them to draw a card and gain 3 life. That is the thing, why it's really tempting to you know, do it. I can play the Picnic Ruiner, not like it's gonna get double strike. Because I can't put another roll token to this so that it would become a 4/4, because it will of course knock off the Wicked roll. Alright, well, it's really tempting to get rid of the Candy Trail. They have the Looter here. I guess denying them 3 life can be valuable. Okay, I'm actually doing it. And I'm not gonna bargain the Wicked token here. Let's deny them the both card and life. But now if they can deal with the Slinger here, I will of course lose. So let's hope they don't. I could also find one of my 2 cut-ins. The Aquatic Alchemist can attack as a 3/3 if they get to trigger it, and of course there are many ways to trigger it, so I would lose my Scuba Slinger or take 3 damage or just jump block with the AUF here. Yeah. So I guess I'll just take the 3 here. I'm gonna block the Baronodi. Oh, please don't enhance. Okay. Well, that's as horrible as it can be. I saw now why they're splashing here. I need a cut in. I think that's like a important here. I don't have enough damage output in here, and I'm gonna lose on the next turn. They also have the annoying Lifelinker. Spider Food, which is in my main deck, is also a good card in this matchup. Yeah, not having any reach creatures means these are basically lethal. I don't want to show them any more cards. They have a lethal attack in the air, so there's nothing I can do here about in terms of sideboarding. Yeah, let's just go to game 2. Wow. Okay, this is better, but okay, I won't have mana for the admirer, and I know there will be targets for this thing, so this is pretty easy. So I'm gonna play this as a... I mean, this is gonna give it a Wicked roll token, so I might not need it. I think I can have a Treasure or maybe Rummage. Well, I guess this is gonna pick up the Wicked roll token now. So I'm gonna play the... I saw one bounce spell there. Maybe I won't be using the Stolen Goodies. Maybe. I could see rummaging the Spider Food away though. Okay. I guess I'll do that. Rummage. Discard to draw. I need to hit my lands too, because these picnic ruiners, these counters are quite valuable. So it would be nice to get to cast that, and I can still spread the counters. So okay, I can spread the counters, so you know it's not so bad if they bounce one of them. Now with the royal treatment, I am going to do this. They might kill this in response. They might of course have the counter spell too, but if they try to kill it, I can of course use the treatment. Okay, they had the counter spell. So let's see then. Just a looter. And a candy trail. How do they scry? I don't think it's that relevant this early in the game, because I don't know if they want to dig into lands or spells, so whatever they choose here is not gonna matter too much. Well, to be mana efficient, I think I should make this into a 4/4, but I would really like to... Now, if I had like a 5th land in my hand, I would know that I could use this on the next turn and have a royal treatment up, but I guess I'm gonna just make this into a 4/4. I'd had to mulligan. I'm kind of... And they had a good start in here. They have the likeness looter and all. So I need to get a little bit lucky in here. If they get to deal with the scoundrel now, well, I still have the ruiner here. It's not like I lost a card. And if I get to untap with a treatment, I'm of course very happy about that, but let's see if that's gonna be a Johan's stopgap now. Or just removal. Now it's something. Candy Gravel. Alright, well, at least they can't... I mean, they sacked the candy trail, so they, you know, lost a way to make it into a... card draw and gain 3. Of course, having only 1 red source here is annoying. I would have played the 2-drop here if I could have. Alright, now they have the life linker here. I do have the minecart daredevil, so if they... I mean, I could also do this... Well, especially now... I mean, this gets a double strike, so I could deal, you know, 8 damage to them here now. And of course I have the royal treatment back up here. Because if they block and then I use this... Because what I'm gonna do if I attack and they don't block? What am I gonna do in that case? Play the ball quest, basically waste this daredevil. No, I'm gonna... Because this has to have 4 power when it attacks, so I'm gonna make it the double striker now. Because this is also quite nice, I can, you know, have the royal treatment and still play the quest in here. Eyes out. Oh, why would that happen? That's annoying. I don't have the creature here anymore. That was the worst. That was the worst. Okay. I mean, I like the idea that I can play this on the next turn, so this will keep triggering for the double strike, but no, they had an actual... Okay, they just have it. They had just exactly what they need here. I can still draw well, but I mean they had an empty hand almost, and then they got to also refill. And because they had the counter spell on the minecart daredevil, I'm not even going to be able to raise them well. And they of course have this you know, this board here. Okay, well, at least I have this until your next end step. So if I play it on my own turn right now. Okay, so how to do it? I think I still have to do it. I have to play the stuff on this turn. Well, I don't care about the Witch Stalker too much. So let's now do this. Because I can't, if I don't play it before this turn's end step, of course I will lose them, but so I couldn't use the adventure, but this is still, you know, double strike and 2 damage there. And now if they let me untap with the royal treatment, that's gonna be nice. I mean, their clock isn't that great, but they have some life gain in here. So much for the royal treatment. Yeah, the fact they had the refill there, after having the ice out, because if they didn't have the ice out, I would have had such a board position that the refill in here would have been just wow. Yeah, so they have they deal with all my stuff. They make me lose the 1 card from my hand, and they kill the 4 power creature. But yeah, I mean the idea is that the ice out was super relevant, because if on that turn I could have played the 4/2 or just have this deal 8 damage to them, which it would have done. 4 power with double strike, unless they jump block with the Baron Order, which would have been a fine outcome for me. And then when they tapped out into the fair court on the next turn, and look at this, I have nothing here. Then of course it would have been a much more bigger deal for them to tap out. Now they have this life gaining ability. I have barely any power here left, because they had a turn when they killed 2 of my creatures and made me discard the 1 card that I can use to protect my creatures from the removal that they have here. So here it's just I mean, while my deck is definitely weak, but I have had actually pretty good draw in this game, but the opponent has just had some amazing stuff here. Well, Cut In is definitely a good one. They also play multiple Hopeless Nightmare, but I suppose they have some bargain stuff that's definitely reasonable. But with the Cut In, I can deal with the Baron or they can copy something with the Likeness Looter, but it's not like care about it too much. If this resolves, I do like my chances a lot more now. This can't block my guys, so they definitely need at least a blocker. Well, I guess I can play the Questing Druid's adventure, but oh boy. They are looting with this thing at least, so they are not clocking me that quickly. Let's do this. And now I have to play both of these this turn. But I can use the adventure here. So this Grand Ball quest will of course trigger the Questing Druid. So I'm gonna do it like this. Now this is gonna give them some card draws, but this only draws 1 card per turn. So I mean I'm going to play next turn up 2 creatures from exile, so they only draw 1 card from there. But of course they are going to loot into stuff. How much more interaction they have? I see 2 Candy Grabbles. I saw Torch the Tower. There will be at least 1 Johan Stopgap, which I saw in the first game. Jeez. This is gonna give them a life point, so I mean 3 life points. They scribe 2 to top. And now they're gonna clock me, so I don't know if I can find a card that beats them. Yeah, the Negotiator. I mean, the opponent just has had so good turns, and none of their turns have been bad. That said, the Cut In is probably one of the best cards I could have, but sadly it's not going to be enough. Because I can't force them to lose everything here. Because the only way I don't lose is if they lose both blockers or just die. This thing has trample, but it's gonna be only a 4/4 trampler. So even if I deal 4 damage to this creature, it's not going to help. They don't have to block with it. Yeah, there's no win here because they have this 3/5 here. I can't deal more than 4 here. I can give this the Young Hero Roll token, but it will knock off the monster token. And it's gonna be a 4/4. Well, I guess it will be a 5/5 in that case. No, no, actually just a 4/4 because this is now a 1/1. I can give it 2 counters from these spells, and then 1 from the cut, the young hero role token. And regardless, it doesn't matter. They can make this into a negotiator even if it dies. And then of course, so basically I would have to get rid of both of these. I don't think I can though. I mean, what is the play? I don't get any additional draws. No. If this could deal more damage, I guess I can just try. I mean, let's do actually a little bit differently. Although, if I tap out, they know there's nothing. They are never gonna double block. Yeah, I'm just not gonna even try. I mean, the only way I have here is that I, burn the negotiator. It will be still a creature that's alive with 1 toughness, and then I would hope they will double block the questing druid. But why would they? If this has like 4 power, what do they achieve by double blocking there? Trading both of these guys to kill this. It doesn't matter. This was just the opponent had a so good turn that even though I actually had one of my better draws there, it wasn't enough. It was almost enough, but no. Okay, I'm keeping this because I can get new cards with the Witch's Mark to hopefully get the forest. And I can of course just discard the Crown Seal, no big deal. Opponent did mulligan here, so they're at 6 currently, maybe going to 5 or maybe deciding what card to not keep in their 6 card starting hand. Okay, so they kept 6. So I can play the Slinger and then try to keep it some. Okay, more of these. Well, the Slinger is actually a decent blocker against that. I don't know why they did it. I guess they didn't want to get this thing countered because of course there's a possibility I drop an island there and then counter it. Alright, so I'm gonna block it. Do they not know this has reach or do they have a trick? Okay, well that was... I guess they lost the game or something like that. I'm gonna fetch maybe first. And the opponent just made, of course, a mistake. They didn't realize that I can eat that thing. Anyhow. I know I could have not fetched first, because then I could, have a royal treatment 1 up, but I don't care if they deal with the Slinger. It definitely did its job. So they can kill the Slinger. I'd rather use my tap land on that turn. No reason to do anything into open mana than just attack here. And I guess I'm gonna just bling the Root Rider Fawn and the Toadstool Admirer here. This thing has ward 2, so I could give it some counters and then have the royal treatment up. Because it's gonna be difficult for them to deal with this anyway this early in the game. So if someone gets countered, it's... I don't know, I might actually even prefer the Fawn to get countered in this situation. Even though this is highly mana intensive, but because I have the Picnic Ruiner. So let's see if they counter this, because now I don't have 2 mana left over. If they have a Spell Stutter. But even the Fawn will be useful, so if it doesn't get countered, I'm somewhat happy because the Corvold and the Noble Thief definitely wants me to have a bunch of mana. Alright, they have a double Abura here. They can pick up either the Abura or the Shatter the Oath. They took the Shatter. If they use it on this turn, they don't get the benefit from the Wicked Roll token. And if they save it for later, I know that I have the Royal Treatment. And it's not like they're killing, something like a Skewer Slinger Haze. That great for them at all. So if they use 5 mana to kill it, now I'm totally fine with that. There's the Prankster. Okay, so now I do have 6 mana available. Well, I think it's quite tempting just to kill this thing and give this the token, so I can give it some free counters at first, and then when it has 4 toughness, I can maybe use this ability if I have mana for that. And I can leave, of course, the... Okay, please don't. I wanna use it like this. I wanna leave a forest up. Because this Parangster isn't the, the meanest card, but I think this is a good turn here now. So they do have a spell stutter, but you know what? No, they have a fairy, so of course I won't be paying. I don't have 3 there. So with the royal treatment I can... No, it doesn't matter. I can attack here, of course, because they can't block it. I mean, given how they just lost 2 cards for free, I should be in a very good shape here. I mean, that was just a total mistake by them. The Abura and the Curiosity, I killed them for free. Okay, so are they gonna use this thing to kill the Skewer Slinger? I mean, it's not the greatest target, so I can understand them not doing that. I actually would let that happen because I'd rather protect the creatures that have. Although this will become even if I save my creature, they always get the Wicked Roll token. Alright, well they had something else there. Kindled Heroism. This taps for green, so I don't have to. So I can leave up mana for both the Kindled Heroism and the Royal Treatment here. So let's just do that. I'm not gonna tap the phone. I don't want to kind of telegraph that I have the Royal Treatment here. They have 1 card only, so I can do it like this. Distribute the counters in such a way that this and these will pick up some counters. Don't need them for the phone, I don't think. And 3 is fine for this. 5 toughness is good enough. It won't die here, and this can become a 3/3 right away, so I can use the Kindled Heroism if they do blocks with the defendants. Sorry, attendants. Alright, that's fine. And of course I will protect my creature with the royal treatment, so I'm not going to cast the Picnic Ruiner here. So they have only this 1 card in hand. They have run out of gas, and I actually have a refill available in the Corvold and the Noble Thief. Let's see if that's gonna be necessary, because if they now block with the attendants like they do, this is bad news for them. Questing Druid is totally fine here. If they want to kill the Admirer, they would have to have a 7th land, which I wouldn't mind at all, of course, because I know I can protect my Admirer. Protecting the Slinger is slightly annoying because, I don't get to... I mean, the new token will just knock off the previous one, so I would rather, have the Admirer get the treatment token. It would actually have Ward 2 and Ward 1 at that point, which would be quite nice. But they can't cast it. Yeah, they have to do it like this, so I'm gonna still protect this guy because it is, good enough to attack through the 2/4 here because of the ping effect here, and they are of course starting to, they don't even care about continuing here because they know that they can't block this, or they will lose the Prankster, and if they block this I can just use mana to give the 4th counter. They would also lose the Prankster, and them taking, this 6 damage at minimum is also something they don't care about happening. So blue-black, Curiosity, but okay, I have again good targets for the Spider Food, and of course my deck is really... There's basically nothing to sideboard in, so I don't think I'm gonna sideboard anything in any of the matches. Alright. It's too slow on the draw, even if I draw a land in the first 2 draw steps. Unless I draw a mountain, I can only play the Collector's Vault in here The Crown Seal is just a cantripping draw a card effect, so I'm going to mulligan this hand once I get the decision. Alright, so they also mulliganed, which is something I will do. All this is the easy 6 card hand, an extra mountain here definitely, and I can even, you know, have a turn 3 Edgewall pack with this hand, and then okay, they kept 6 too, and then of course the Collector's Vault can keep me digging into good stuff if I, for example, flood out or something. I got my 1-drop here, let's see if it can deal any damage. They can just play 1/3 or something, and of course they can also have the, you know, the flash. I saw 2 flash creatures there, so I'm not gonna attack into open mana. 2/2 flash flyers, so they would just eat the Admirer unless I draw a you know. Well, there's a mine card, Daredevil. So now the question is, yeah, I'm gonna, of course this won't survive the combat, but I would be happy to deal with the Abura. So if they block, I can use the Daredevil now, and that's totally fine. If they go for the block there. They don't, and this is perfectly fine to play the Fawn here as well. So do they have the 2/2, which they just didn't want to risk? That's the case. Makes sense. It's not like the 1/1 is gonna be a problem anytime soon. It'll take a lot more time before this is a problem. They have a curiosity, I feel. But that's if they start with the same stuff as in game 1. And I don't have my cut-in. I have 2 cut-ins and I have a spider food. That is 3 outs, I remember. But okay, there was no curiosity. I'm pretty sure they would have gone for it if they had that, because I was completely tapped out. Wow, and I drew the cut-in. Alright. No reason attacking really. I guess I can... Okay, well, there's a possibility for an attack here. Well, there are many things here. First of all, I could attack with the Admirer, they block. I use this, it's just a trade steal. But I can play the post-combat Collector's Vault. Not that it's very interesting. I could just cut in this and give this, you know, counters, but just in case they will have a curiosity or something problematic, I want to save the cut-in for now. It's my only removal. So I think the best idea is just to play the 4-mana creature here and see what happens. The Collector's Vault won't be that useful anyway, because I'm actually not even that interested in discarding lands at this point. I don't want to discard anything, so the looting is not that great. I mean, paying mana. Free loots, yeah, maybe, but paying mana for looting is not what I'm currently interested in. Okay. Looter they have. Okay, leaving a lectern. Now. It's pretty clear they don't have curiosity. I mean, they could still have it. Okay. This thing gives a scry too when it dies, so it's a little bit annoying, but what can you do? Guess I could just attack with the Edgewall pack, I guess. And then post-combat. Yeah, it's a little bit difficult now. Maybe I will add to the board before using the cut-in. There was definitely a... You know, I could have killed the Coral Smith and giving this the Young Hero roll token. It starts picking up the counters. But this is just fine. I can do this now. I'll play the Collector's Vault here, and then I'm gonna end up and play this an instant, so I can do it at the end of their turn. Hopefully exiling like 1 land and 1 spell, then I will have mana to cast the spell. But currently, if they can curiosity one of their creatures and start drawing extra cards, that's the worst. So that's the reason why I want to save the cut-in for now. They will have, you know, access to new cards with the looting, and of course the Lectern can draw them a card, and also the Sorcerer roll token allows them to scry. So as long as as long as I'm taking 2 a turn in there, I'm not that worried. So let's see if this is gonna resolve. It's not the end of the world if it doesn't. Okay, I can't play more than one of these lands, but it's not like I need. Well, I suppose with the Collector's Vault any lands will be good, but it's still fine. I get 1 free card out of this, and can now cast the Druid. I'm still not playing the cut in, so I'm gonna play this just in case I'm gonna use the Daredevil for something. If I'm not gonna use the Daredevil, then of course I will just use the vault and loot away the Evolving Wilds. Now, they might double block in here, so this is basically trading with the Coralsmith now. But I guess I have to trade with the Coralsmith sooner or later anyway, so. And there's no benefit really to attack with the 1/1. I guess I could. Problem is they might have instant speed interaction. I don't like that they would like kill or bounce this in response. Then I can't play the 4/2 at any point anymore. And this is just 1 damage it can deal, so if they take it, it's not maybe worth the risk, because they could block with 2/3 here. I'm actually fine here because I don't mind actually using the Collector's Vault in here. That said, I can actually use the Collector's Vault and still have the minecart Daredevil here. Well, too late now. So they can pump it twice, so the Daredevil isn't gonna matter. I can make this into a 4 toughness creature, but it's just not gonna help. Because now, if I use it now, they can just use another mana for that. So let the trade happen. Let them have their Scry 2 and let's see what happens. How do they Scry? That at this point it's somewhat relevant for sure. If it's like 2 on top, it's a lot more scarier than 2 at the bottom. Two on top. Oh, okay. This could be problematic. Not interested in looting. I mean, when you don't want to loot, you might as well deal 1 damage. They can also turn it into another Coralsmith if they want to. At that point, they can't loot anymore. So it keeps the coping ability, but it loses the looting ability if they use the X ability. It's only a sorcery speed activation though, so they can't surprise me in any way. Okay, I take 3. I'm still in a okay shape, but I don't like the fact that they kept 2 on top. So there's going to be some instant speed stuff from them, but I have at least something. So am I going to attack with the Fawn in here? I might want to have all my mana available. Yeah, I'm not attacking with the Fawn, but I'm attacking with the rest and see what happens. I'm still not using the cut in, it's not what I'm doing right now. I'll just play the Corvold most likely. I mean, the Saga, not the Corvold, which is not even in this set. There's only 2 damage, so it's not like I'm dealing a lot here. They turn that into that. Well, I mean, I can now make my questing druid into a 4-power creature, so let's do that. Because this pump will happen, and of course the trigger will happen too, so let's hope they don't have a way to interact with this thing. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, there was not... I was a little bit afraid they might have the -4, -0 Adventure Fairy, but they did not. Now, is it time to play this or just play the 4/2? And if I play the 4/2, I might actually just loot away. They might have a counter spell. But I mean, I can... No, it's pay 4, kind of a counter spell. Well. Might want to have the land actually. Okay, I'm gonna just play this, not play the land so that I can maybe loot on the next turn. Because what I could have done is just loot before casting this and then use 2 of my treasures to pay for the Daredevil. I mean, I could loot the land away, and even if I don't draw another land, I would have had enough mana to cast this. But I think they might have the counter spell, so let them counter the 4-2. It's more important that I can deal maybe with the Abura nowadays. They can also turn this into a Merfolk thing. Okay, no counter spell. I'm gonna leave the land in my hand. I'd rather... Okay, they have a Prankster, so that's it. Okay, they have another Water Wings. Oh, so they have like multiple of these things. I need to be aware of that in the game 3 where this seems to be going. Because they can play the 1-3 and then of course leave mana up for the Water Wings, so the cut in isn't going to do anything here. And I'm running out of time. I guess they do have to deal with the 4-2 maybe. Also you can see now how weak this card is. I mean, it's just a 1-1. If you have 4 mana to keep this in a counter, that's not necessarily a good spot to be in the first place. So now I can't just use the cut in at all. Another one of those though. Well. These are not great attacks at all. Well, with anyone else than the Daredevil. At least I know about the Water Wings, but... Yeah, this miserable. They dealt with my... They had blockers for my other stuff. So I'm not really pushing for any damage here. This is difficult, because I can do something with the Minecraft Daredevil. Minecart, Minecraft, what the heck. Alright, let's just... I mean, because I'm dead on the next turn, so I have to do something. So I'm gonna attack with all this stuff and kind of force them to use the Water Wings, because if they can use it on their turn, it's, you know, not gonna work for me. So I'm gonna assume they're gonna block, you know, one of these maybe. They might not block anything, and then this is kind of, I'm forced to use the cut in now, just so that they have to use the Water Wings now, so that I don't die immediately. Because I'm dying to 6 damage on the next turn. Yep, that is 6 damage. Oh well. Oh well, oh well. Let's do the cut in here and here. Now. Well, I'm not gonna have time for the Noble Thieves. I'm gonna loot away the Corvold thing. I mean, assuming I can survive, because it doesn't... They don't have to have much for me to die. 2 fairies and I die. They can turn this into a bigger creature, but they won't fly. So I have a blocker if they make this into a Merfolk thing. So yeah, I have to jump block. No, it has flying. What did I... Yeah, of course it has flying. Sure. I didn't read the ability properly. Not that it really would have changed anything, but now that I recall, I have actually played multiple times with the Likeness Looter, and it would be actually quite annoying to turn it into a non-flyer. because it is a flyer by itself, so the fact it retains flying makes a total sense. So I didn't notice it now, but I don't think it would have changed anything. Couple of Water Wings, I mean, it's a little bit of a situational card, but now the main thing here is to just curve out, because that's the only thing this deck can do against them. Try to curve out and pressure their life total. I'm not gonna have answers for all their flyers. If they have time to, you know, for a long time they just attack for 2 a turn, but since I couldn't really do much myself, that was all they needed. Okay, well, this is kind of a curve out stuff. I don't. Well, no, I do like the Scuba Slinger. It's such a good blocker against their stuff that even though if it's not the most aggressive deck attacking for only 1, I at least have the Grand Ball quest here, and this can, you know, hold off until I actually get to, you know, maybe I can win in the ground with this thing helping. They did Mulligan again, and it seems like they have a fairly decent mana base, so maybe this just got a little unlucky. Because wasn't it the first round opponent? Oh, haven't seen this by the way. Wasn't it the first round opponent who... they might counter this though. I mean, wasn't it the first round opponent who had the red mana? I think they were the ones with the red splash. Now, the thing is here is that... well, I'm not gonna play around the counter spell here because they might just play the 2/2 flyer instead. So I'd rather use their mana for counter spells. And I guess the Bramble family isn't really that important. I'm not gonna wait until I'm at 7 lands. That's like not what I'm gonna do here. So I'm gonna do this, and if they counter it, then they counter it. If they have the 2/2 flyer, then, you know, at least I have 4 power in here. Yep. They have at least 2 of these in the deck, so it's not that surprising that they have it. Now, if they do have a Curiosity, at least I can hopefully... I mean, then... okay, that's an Ego Drain. I mean, I guess I don't care which one they take here. They're both decent, of course. The treatment's usefulness is a lot worse when they know about it. Well, that's annoying. Now, if I draw a land I don't like at all, my chances. Well, how about that? Because at least... well, no, I will deal 2. But yeah, this is... yeah, the Scuba Slinger would have been quite decent here against the Abura here again. Well, sure. I gave it a token on the quest because I might actually return this to my hand. And this, now if I get to trigger Celebration, it becomes a 4/4, so something that the Lectern cannot deal with, and this is one of the few ways in this deck that can in fact trigger Celebration by themselves. But let's see if they do have a counter spell. They don't. But they might have a -4, -0, so... I mean, why wouldn't I attack with both, regardless? Okay, is that the Water Wings? I wouldn't mind if they have that. Okay, yeah, the H-Wall pack was something I really needed here. So they have Water Wings to kill that, which is fine. I mean, it's totally fine. Trading with that is acceptable. The 3/3 Menace is gonna be decent. Prankster getting them a counter spell and the Water Wings. Man, these Water Wings. But also, when I know about that, it's gonna be easier to play around it, of course. And they don't have mana on this turn to both play the Prankster and have mana up for the Water Wings, so maybe they even... Because they are down to 12 here now. This has menace. Let's see what they do. But I need to, of course, draw more gas. That's just needed. Now the Saga that, I would have time to play around with the Saga. You know, the one that gives me... In Chapter 3 exiles 3 of their cards, which I can play. And, of course, with the treasure tokens it provides earlier, it's gonna be easy to get some stuff from there at least. But it's really about my top decks now. I'm not gonna play all the lands because I can get the Collector's Vault draw and then I want to get rid of my lands. I also have the thing that creates a Wicked Roll token. Okay, this is actually fine because this is a permanent entering the battlefield. If I draw now another permanent, this will trigger... would have triggered Celebration, which would have been great. Now this is kinda annoying. I guess I'm going to trade with the Water Wings. They will have mana for that anyway. So because I mean it's only 2 mana. They played the Prankster and they still can leave mana up for it. So I guess because this way I can deal 3 damage. Fine. I mean, don't like it, but I don't think it's gonna be that much better any later turn. Do your worst. I could have attacked with the 1/1, but I think it would have been a free block for the Oburate. The Lectern would have blocked the Grand Ball quest. And imagine if I drew the trick here, the +2/+1 combat trick creature. I could have had some very good stuff here going on, but that was at least they played their land, so now I know about it. That they don't have any tricks currently unless they activate the Lectern, which is still something they can make this into a 2/4. It has Vigilance, so they can both attack and also block with it. The Admirer. Okay, let's go for it. Now, of course, I played land because if I hit my 8 lands, I can start double adding counters here. But sadly, there's nothing else to do. This needs the Celebration, which... Yeah, if I drew this on the previous turn and now the Mountain, that would have been much better, but... Oh well. Yeah, I'm actually again dying to these Flyers just because they have enough blockers to make things work. And this just shows how a 2/2 Flash Flyer is actually very decent. They have dealt enough damage. Again, they kept on top. That I'm now losing the race here. And of course these big toughness blockers are annoying as well. Yeah, this is my deck's fault. I don't have like a Hamlet Glutton here to really, do something great here. But okay, yeah, not working very well here. I think now I'm attacking with everything because unless they have something like another Water Wings, this is still fine. I'm gonna leave this. Well, no, let's see what happens in combat. Actually, I should play this because on the next turn I can have this being a 4/4 and this can attack. But of course, let's see now what happens. It seems like they have nothing, but problem is they kept on top from the scry with this sorcerer token. The reason to leave this in hand would be to maybe trigger Celebration for this guy on the next turn. So are they gonna eat the 1/1 or prevent a little bit more damage? The vigilance on this thing matters a lot more when they put a token on it. Okay, so now I'm gonna play the land and the Witch Stalker. Oh, they have a counter spell there. Well, I guess it's not the worst. I played the land, of course, because if I still draw a land, I get to activate this twice. Yeah, they had a spell stutter, but now, sadly, they have a card they wanted to have, so it's not a land. That is not a land. But this Admirer... Can they attack with both? Of course they will attack with the Vigilant creature, but are they... Okay, how about the Scry in here? This is close now. Okay, now that was the bottom, so it could have been just a land, but... Okay, Fawn doesn't do anything right now. There's no point in leaving anyone back here. I guess I could leave this 1/1 back. Now I'm afraid they're gonna have the -4/-0 fairy, because what else card would they keep here if they don't play it on their turn? So they have the -4/-0 fairy. That would be horrible, of course. I guess they do need to double block to make that, worth something. In that case, I would need to attack with with everything. And I'm going to decide now that they have the -4/-0 thing. And then, if they do have that, I should attack with everything. Because they don't get any value out of it. Unless they double block. And then this is a free attack. If they eat the rat, the -4/-0 won't matter that much. Okay, so it's something else entirely. Nope. Okay, I don't know what that can be now. This is totally fine for me. They're gonna have a... They must be able to save the Obura, right? That has to be the case. Now, maybe they found it. Yep, so there's no point adding a counter here, it will die anyway. I can't add a second one, so now they're gonna save Obura by decreasing this guy's power. No, they actually... Okay, now I don't know what are they holding there. What card did they want to keep there? This card in their hand was something they scried to top at some point. Now they drew a random card because on the previous turn they scried to bottom. And this wasn't the one they had in their hand because they would have played this on my turn, of course, but after they had lost the Obura. So this was the draw on this turn. Is it possible they kept an actual counterspell, but then they should have countered the Fawn? I'm really not understanding it. Oh. Can someone explain what happened? This couldn't have been the card. Why wouldn't they have played? This couldn't... Okay, now I don't know, and it doesn't matter, I actually won this game. So, it's pretty sweet. Wicked Troll token on the rat, but they have to... Yeah, they don't have life gain, and this is of course more attackers. This has trample and all. Yeah, this is... But I would want to know what happened on the previous turn when they didn't... They had one of these in their hand for sure. Absolutely, one of these was in their hand. They didn't use these at 10. They had mana available. They had 7 mana, I think. They could have used either of these. They could have played this at the end of my turn. Or just used this. This was the card I kind of played around. Maybe they messed up and passed accidentally. I don't know. Okay, I have had a couple of blue-black decks. Will this be different? Okay, hand isn't great, but I guess
I have so few of these expensive cards that I should keep this hand. I can, at least play these, but definitely I hope to, draw something before turn 4. So I can cast. I draw always something, but this land, for example, doesn't do anything. Well, so much of that hope. Just draw 2 lands there, but at least I'm on the play, so... And they missed their 2-drop. Oh, it's possible they had like a counter spell or removal there, which they weren't able to utilize. Okay. So there's something, and it's a quick study. Okay, no counter spell. So I have the board presence here, despite having my first play. I mean, the first board presence, despite having my first play on turn 4. Being on the play helps a little bit. So now they are at but 9 cards, so they have to play something or they will discard to hand size. Spider Food against another which has deck that has blue and black. Okay, they can get only this because this only destroys. Oh, that was what they were having as an early drop. Okay, but they have a Spider chill. Well, I'm actually gonna deal with this. They don't even have the mana to draw a card. So I'm gonna use the Spider Food for that. I don't care about them getting the food token and the Wicked Roll token as much as, freeing this Edge Wall pack. So let's do that. I'm not sure if I'm gonna wear Fox. I'm gonna give it a Monster Roll token yet on the end of the turn. Depends on what they play. Do they tap out? That kind of stuff. They do want to play a creature now, otherwise they will lose out on the Wicked Roll token. So blue, black and red. So this is like in the first match. So I haven't played any deck against any deck that plays white or green. All of them have been Grixis colors. With the second match being just straight up Dimir. If I recall correctly. Alright, well they do have 6 cards in their hand. They were on the draw and also they of course played the quick study. Alright, so what they can do to get the Wicked Roll token happening is of course make this into a creature before their main phase, but of course that's really useless because once this turns back to a land, the roll token would go away anyway. So I don't understand why this was the best thing they could have. They cried something. I didn't even check what it was. I'm not gonna play this into a, I could play, they could have a Candy Grapple, so I'm not gonna use the Werefox here. Here, it would be quite useful to discard to draw. The Wicked Roll token is good too, but I think here I'm gonna discard to draw. I don't need the, the extra card is better. Or trading the forest into a fresh card is better than having this be a little bit bigger. Okay. So do I want to keep mana up for both of these? I know I have the Collector's Vault, but I guess I'm gonna want to have the option to have mana up for both of those. They might just of course crack the food token and that's it. But then I'm really surprised about what are they doing. They might have a counter spell, so I'm not gonna play this to get countered. I might get value out of the Monster Roll token. Okay, so they are gonna lose the Wicked token. This didn't do much. They actually killed a 1/1 rat token I got for free. Then they got the food token. Okay, well that is a reason to not a reason to not have a better play on the previous turn, but now I understand that they had something very good there. Now I'm going to... If this is a 2/2, I can make it into a 4 power creature. No, it's still not gonna be enough. I can make it into a 4 power creature with this and then 5 power, but they still have a block, so I'm gonna use this on here. I'm not gonna need to crack the food yet. So what I'm doing here, this menace guy can attack. Of course they can have a... I'm just expecting to be met with some kind of a interaction here. I don't think I need a Kindled Heroism on their turn, so I'm gonna be happy with just having mana up for the Daredevil. I know I could have played the 4-2, but it doesn't do anything against the dragon here. So I think here they're just gonna kill the pack. And then, oh, so they have a handful of archive dragons. Okay then. Yeah, I mean the 4-2 playing that would have mattered too much. I guess I'm gonna hit my land drops now, but yeah, I can attack with both. If I attack with the Scoundrel, I guess it's like a free attack there. If they block with that, because they can double block the pack, and I can, you know, trade then with one dragon. If they just block the Werefox, I actually get to keep my Werefox because of the first strike and the Daredevil. But if I attack with the Scoundrel and they eat the Scoundrel, they don't have that great of a block left. So I'm gonna sacrifice my 1/1 if they do that exact thing. This is fine for me, pretty much. However they are gonna block here, it's fine. But I don't like the fact they have, you know, these 4 cards in hand. And I forgot to check how they scryed. Not that it matters too much when they have still so many cards left in their hand. Okay, they do that, which is still fine. This is a wicked. No, this is a monster, of course, so they don't lose a life here. Oh, I forgot. This also adds 1 toughness, so this is gonna be fine. I mean, I could have saved this. No. So they now eat the Scoundrel. Yeah, I forgot this adds 1. So actually the double block would have worked very beneficially for me. Because I could also give it first strike. And the first strike deals with the first dragon. Anyway, this is still fine. Do this. I get to trample a point here. That's basically a free card draw. I know it with 8 lands I can do double pumps with the Admirer, but it's not really that important. I mean, drawing a fresh card is gonna be better. I'm still playing the land now, of course, because if I draw a land, I have the option to pump this twice. Although I think I would play the Daredevil. Now I'm still, of course, not in a good spot at all, given how many cards they have, and they again traded an island into 2 fresh cards. So I'm not quite in a. I don't really have the means to overwhelm them, because I'm sure they can either play blockers or deal with my creatures. So, and attacking through this 5/7 is gonna be a miserable thing. So I do think I'm really in a bad shape here. But let's, of course, play. A royal treatment would have been very good there. Maybe the Admirer will win the game by itself. Yeah, it's not happening. It takes so much time before I even have. Do I have? I'm gonna get the life now, because I'm gonna use mana for this a lot now. I mean, it takes so much time before it becomes a 6/6. But now there's not even a point playing the Daredevil here. I'll just pump the Admirer twice. I guess I could do it on my turn because they have full information. Well, I suppose if they have like a rat out. Well, yeah, this could actually be bad if they have a Torch the Tower. Yeah, okay. They even get the life point there. Well, I mean, this is not a surprise that they have actually, you know, spells to deal with my stuff. They have drawn so many cards, and they actually also have a lot of lands in here. Yeah, that's. So they have like a control deck with removal and a couple of dragons and probably some other stuff. Well, I mean, all I can try to do is do my best here. This deck isn't gonna have a great matchup here. I think this will be a. This event will be a bad draft gone into a probably 1-2. At least I won, you know, 1 game, but this is very problematic what I'm seeing here now. They also have this which has first strike when it attacks. Not when it blocks. Yeah, they can just, you know, kill my creatures, draw more cards.
They even have the food. They are at 13 now. Yeah, I mean, when it goes to when their deck goes to these states, it's not gonna be worth playing here. This is not gonna even help me go through this guy. I'm dying to the dragon here. There's no way to push through. There's no draw in my deck that can actually get me anything that helps me push through. So let's just go to the next game because there's nothing I can sideboard here. Oh man, this hand. If I just had, I even have a spider food for one of the dragons. I mean, one any land, and I can do stuff. But I want to play. I have exactly one turn. Might even get the Evolving Wilds, but I don't think the Evolving Wilds would be a disaster. I mean, this is the kind of hand that can allow me to have a good start and maybe win. Okay, given that the matchup is very bad, I'm gonna risk it now. Not gonna go to 6, have like a miserable hand with no power. This is the hand that can make me win. If I draw a land, I think I can like miss land drop once because I'm on the play. If I miss land drop twice, then it's game over. But I mean, there's not much I can do about it. Okay, they did mulligan, but they don't know how safe they are if I'm gonna draw two non-lands here now. I mean, even one is gonna be bad, but I think it's something I can survive from. With a better deck, I would have mulliganed this for sure, but I think this is a bad matchup. This allows me to push early damage, and I have, you know, something for their stuff. I have the Collector's Vault to keep drawing gas. This hand, I think, has the tools to allow me to win this game against this opponent. But let's see how they choose. If they go to 5 and have like a somehow clumsy hand themselves, but no, they kept 6. Moment of truth. I'm ready to pass the turn here if I draw a non-land. Yep. And now is the actual moment of truth, because now if I don't draw a land, I think it's gonna be pretty bad. Alright, this helps me a lot. I'm going to get a treasure token here. Just so I can try to play the Bramble Familiar. And I can use the Witch's Bark to give this a Wicked Roll token regardless. I know I could have gone for draw discard, but I think I didn't really want to discard anything in here. Well, I'm not going to gamble with the Witch's Bark here, because they can have a, they can have a, deal 1 damage. Flick a coin, yeah. Alright, so this is probably gonna die though. That means I'm gonna play this. The only thing against this is like a counter spell, and now I'm guaranteed to have green mana unless they can find a way to deal with the vault. I don't think these colors have that easy time doing that. Oh, they firebolted my 1/1. That's really scary. I understand they wanted to use their mana instead of just doing nothing, but that was really, fine for me. Well, now I'm definitely happy I didn't go for the familiar here. I would have lost my treasure and they would have firebolted that instead. They might have like more firebolts or something. Okay, they're actually going to target my vault with something. Is it like a stopgap? Yes. I don't think it's really that big of a deal. I have what, 8 cards, so well, now I'm going to play my familiar and let's see if they are gonna kill it. I think they are, but who knows, maybe they won't. Alright, that's gonna be a big problem, so I need to kill it. So that's I mean, they have a pretty good set of win conditions. you know, they have 2 dragons and a Talion's Messenger. That's also a very good card. At least I finally found this thing, but yeah, this is gonna give them extra cards. So many extra cards. And the 2/5 is just a very good blocker as well. It really is. Now what I'm gonna do here is this guy. I mean, it's probably just cantripping here to maybe find a land here. Yeah, the 2/5 is actually quite nasty. Now, yes, I could maybe push through it with the Minecart Daredevil, but I assume they're gonna have mana up for my turn forever now. I guess if I draw a Royal Treatment, that might help, but yeah, this allows them to play stuff from that, and even on my turn, instants. And of course, the adventure spells are sorceries or instants, so it's not looking good. Yeah, the set of creatures they have for the kind of removal heavy creatures deck is really amazing. This is fantastic blocker and more card advantage. The flyers I have seen are pretty good. Okay, they killed that, which is fine. At least they used an instant on my turn. Heart Elemental. Yeah, okay, all of these creatures are actually just too good. And now that I had this low start, I don't like my chances. I guess what I can do here is use the I'm gonna have like a I guess I need to have the witch's mark in here. Discarding what exactly? Maybe just the territorial witch stalker. So now I can attack, and if they block, I still lose my quest. But they can just take 3 damage, and they are in a position to beat the race. Okay, yeah. This was nasty. I don't know if I had a chance here, even if I drew the land on turn 2 and never missed a land drop. I think it's quite unlikely given how they started here. Yeah, they can actually just bounce my things, kill my things, and with the 4/5 here, have a very quick clock here, in fact. They also have the land for attacking purposes at some point. Yep. So they are the one racing me, although I was supposed to be that one. Alright, well, I mean the draft went very badly, so it's not a bad result in that sense. It's kind of an expected result if I go now with 1 win and 2 losses. Although I have to say that I think this deck would have had better matchups against stuff like you know, red-white, red-black, because I had early blockers, and you don't need like those huge creatures against those decks, but against these blue-black decks, controlist decks, where the games go late, you want to have some big hitters to match up with their late game plays. So I think the matchups were a bit unlucky. Basically 2 blue-black decks, and then this is like a Grixis control. I guess mostly blue-red splashing for black. Cut in doesn't do anything against that opponent. They have 2 5 toughness creatures. I can play the phone. The Collector's Vault, I won't have time to use that for any purpose. Yeah, let's just stop there. You know, there's no way I can beat here them. Nothing I can have here is gonna be even good against the 4/5. This guy is tapped. What I can do here, play a Root Rider Fawn, 4/2 Daredevil or something, and they have extra cards whenever they have a sorcery or instant or an adventure card on the top of the deck. So that's just not gonna be worth my time here. I'm just gonna hop into a new draft because that was just not gonna end well for me. Okay, well, that is what happens when you have a bad draft
and don't have like perfect draws. I would have needed perfect draws in the games. I did win one match, but of course in best of 3, winning 0 and winning 1 has very little difference. Deck was very mediocre, because as you can see, this is 100 gems and 1 pack, this is 250 gems and 1 pack, so the difference is 150 gems, whereas here it would be like plus 750 and here plus 1500, so there's a really, after the first win the prices really increase. But yeah, let's claim the small price here, and hopefully, well, at least you see now how the variance goes. I had like a streak of 3-0 drafts. I think I had 3 back-to-back 3-0 drafts, and then I think I had 1-2, 2-1, and 1-2, if I recall correctly. So, of course, limited is a streaky business, and sometimes you have a good run, sometimes you have many bad runs in a row. Anyway, I will see you in the next video, hopefully, and see you then. Thank you for watching, and bye-bye.